Welcome back to Sweat Equity. Eric Valdez alongside my co-host Jules Johnson.
Popping.
Hey, football season, baby, it's here.
Uh, Football
All
season
right,
is here. Nogi season is here, bro.
Nogi season. Well, world's first, and then Nogi,
World's first, and then Nogi,
then Nogi. All right,
then
yes. All
Nogi. We
right.
got Friday, bro.
I don't think you big in football. You big in football, like fantasy football and shit like that.
Nah, bro.
You never
I
got
would.
into any of that.
I got out of football, bro, on some, you know, actually pre-calling. Well, maybe not pre-calling Kaepernick, but on some Kaepernick like Black Power entitlement stuff.
Like fuck them. They don't want to support
It wasn't, bro. It
the
was. It
movement.
was. It wasn't really the Colin Kaepernick movement that was it, but it was, it was on some it was in that same vein, bro. And it was actually your boy, it's Bob McNair. The
I just saw something and I had to do some research, but freaking, I know Netflix just shut down like this multi-million-dollar freaking docu-series. I think that Nike was trying to freaking bring to them about Colin Kaepernick and stuff like that, and they shut that shit
really.
down. Yeah, I man, like I remember just like glimpsing over something like that. You might like look over it, but like,
Hold on,
yeah, it was gonna come to Netflix and everything, like a whole freaking docu series, and they're like, no, they pulled it at the last second, you know, uh, because I guess it was heavily with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, for sure. But hey, it, now I'm gonna start
bro.
sounding like the damn Cowboys, bro. You know, this our year, and shit like that. Freaking, I'm super hyped. Number one defense. We loaded back up on the wide receivers. Hopefully, we drafted some real good freaking O linemen to protect freaking CJ Stroud, like that. But man, like I feel like we on the cusp of getting over the bitch ass fucking Chiefs. Oh man, I'm still so fucking pissed about last year, with that shit. You know what I mean? But freaking a like my draft is today, so hopefully we can wrap this up quick because I need to get focused on who I'm gonna draft for my fantasy football league. But bro, like
uh
around this time, bro, it's a 24-hour thing, man, for me.
bro. So
What you
so
find?
what I see is that ESPN and Spike Lee
Oh yeah, yeah,
dropped the
it was
dropped
spiky.
the
Yeah,
Colin Kaepernick docuseries over creative differences.
yeah.
So, um, this is just a quick story, and Spike Lee says it's not coming out. That's all I can say. But creative differences, bro. Spike Lee, I and
And
it
he
said
ain't
it
one to
said,
shy away from just saying whatever
oh
is
yeah,
for real. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
the big,
So
yeah, yeah,
I, mm, maybe he drops it on Hulu or some shit. So some of them that lower level tier freaking streaming service.
well, I don't know, man. I just think that it's very difficult, like the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, like that really divided people. But when you have a platform, you
Yeah,
you you know you use it.
use it.
You
Yeah,
use it. I
you know
mean,
what I
that's the
mean.
purpose. That's you have the platform, and it's not that it wasn't really the NFL platform. He wasn't saying the NFL needs to do this. He was just like, this is just, I'm here. People are looking at me, so I'm going to do this here. Wasn't violating any rules or anything, but people started letting all their politics and stuff get in the way of the
Nah,
game, and
and we've talked about it before, but it's just I feel so bad for him because he has such a promising career, and then just
bro,
got derailed hard. You know what I mean, by everybody, and like damn, you know what I mean. And hey, good for him because he stuck to his guns, but like
right,
you
right, right.
know,
He could have just chilled out and been like, I'm out.
he forever mean he's staying ready. You know what I mean. So you never know. You know what I mean. Shit.
I mean, it's just weird that like, because of his views, not on the game, and he didn't say anything. He really didn't say anything negative about anybody, but they
He
were like,
just
"Yo,
literally took a knee. I was like,
out." Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So.
I don't know, man. It's intense. Um, But yeah, football season. I mean, football season's cool, man. I'll watch a little bit of it, but I'm not all the way in it. I did see that. I did see that Shador Sanders was on in an interview today, and he was commenting on the Browns, and he was like, maybe we won't even be playing on the same team anymore. And I was like, wait, what?
For the
Yeah,
Browns.
yeah. He just, I
Oh,
like, it was just like a weird. It was a weird statement in the press conference, bro. So I don't know if they've got like some behind the
right.
scenes beef,
I can
or I
see
don't know what's
that. You
going
know what I
on.
mean? Like he just what I've been seeing from him is just that he's just been keeping his head down and working hard. You know what I mean? And obviously, it was kind of a long shot for him being a starter anyway, like that. But with him, really uprising and being a star in the off season camps and stuff like that, and then just everything surrounding around him, I like. I like, bro, like just take 1 year. Not like honestly, like I don't even think 1 year because you got the starter Joe Flacco. He's a veteran, but come on now, like I don't see him making a whole season. All
Right,
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 and
right.
then once he goes down, let's say he goes down week 6 or some shit, probably even earlier, like that. Then be ready. You know what I mean? Just be ready, and just keep your head low. Just be ready.
You don't even
So
have to wait for them to go down. Just, I mean, it's just preseason. Like it's just preseason. You've
yeah,
only practiced with them for a little while. You've only had get a couple of live games in, get a feel of the game because what all those rookie quarterbacks all say is that it's a different speed when they get to the NFL.
nah, yeah,
Like it's just get up there, feel it a little bit. Give it
yeah.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in, and then
Yeah, I'm like
mm,
I see him starting, but I do see him starting before the end of the year.
yeah,
Before the end of the
yeah,
season's up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but right now, just he just needs to chill. Just sit on the bench behind and then it's not like he's sitting behind someone that isn't like been bad his whole life. This is a freaking Super Bowl champion quarterback. You know what I mean? So like yeah, like just take it all in, learn, and then even if you don't get a start by the end of the season and you go into next season, like yeah, you're gonna be ready. You know what I
You'll
mean
be
for
ready.
sure.
You'll be ready. Yeah,
But he,
yeah,
he got
absolutely.
a lot of attention already, on him. So he just needs to like just keep his head down, just keep working hard, like that. But let's get back to you though. You know what I mean? Uh, talk to me about your weight cut right now. I really want to get heavy into like the fitness side of things and, give you, anybody else listening from the jujitsu side or anybody just in general listening, looking to make a good weight cut and doing it the right way and stuff like that. So like, I know you've been working with a nutrition and things like that and you really looking real slim. All these videos that you've been posting lately. You
Bro,
know, you said where you at, how you feel, talk to me
uh,
about your intake right now and stuff like that.
so I'm actually down to 193. You have to be 190 for Friday. So we're talking about 3 pounds. I made the choice with my nutritionist that I was struggling during training, right? Like trying to get more weight off. So I was 240 in
Mm-hmm.
November. So I
Two
mean, you do the math
forty.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
So,
240 in November, right? That's a long
damn.
way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So so that's a long way, right? So
Uh,
we just made the choice that instead of trying to go too far down like right now, because bro, I was like you know, eating going down to 1200 calorie, 1100 calorie a day, bro,
that's bad.
I could barely train, bro. I could
Uh-huh.
barely train. And so right now, not very much higher, but I'm between 15 and 18. I feel okay, and my weight's maintaining, right?
15
So,
and 18, what percent? Body fat percentage?
no, 15 to 8, 15 to
Oh,
1800
calories.
calories, right? 15 to
Calories.
1800
Okay.
calories.
All right. That's better.
Um,
Yeah, that's better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, bro. If I was that, I can actually tell you. I told you I got
Yeah,
one of those
like, what are
scales. Let
you,
me
a
tell you,
middle school girl? You know what I mean? I'm like, geez, eating 1,200 calories, bro. I think
bro.
my 1-year-old son eats more than that.
Bro,
So,
bro, it was too much. Let's see, I had it on here.
so in this weight cut, as you're looking at that, like, tell me some of the signs that you really noticed. Because going from 240 down to 190, that is no joke. You know what I mean? And my biggest question, off the bat is like, how much muscle did you lose in that process? People think like, oh, great for you, you lost all this weight. But off the bat, as a trainer, for me, my head automatically goes to, man, how much muscle have you lost in this process? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling fatigued? While you're training and things like that. For sure. So like, do you have
So
those numbers from
yeah,
start to finish?
so actually, um, my muscle mass, according to my scale, has only gone down 0.2%, but I have also
So what is that in pounds then?
it's 146 pounds. 146 pounds is my muscle mass.
And that's what it is currently.
Yeah, 146.
So where'd you start at?
Well, I started off at 146.4 and went down 146.4, and I'm now at 146.2.
So you're able to
But
maintain your muscle mass by that.
but the maintenance in the muscle mass was not just the diet. I've been working out also. So
Okay.
I had to get back in the gym, and in order to maintain the muscle mass with the nutritionist, he was like, "Look, you're going to have to rev up your protein. Like you're gonna have to rev up your
Yeah.
protein. There's no you can't he was like all that eating salads and all that stuff is like that's great, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But he was like salads I don't tell you, salads, he's like lettuce is just it's just a filler. It's
Hmm.
useless calories. It doesn't do anything. If you just want to be full, eat lettuce. But you don't have any protein. So I was protein shakes. I was doing all that stuff and working out and able to keep the muscle mass up. I'm at 20% body fat.
Nice.
Um,
So then
which
tell
is,
me this, man, since you've been able to maintain your muscle mass, start to finish, like where'd you start at for your body fat compared to now, So
bro,
like
I think I think my body fat percentage,
no, not your body
um,
fat percentage, your body fat.
like the fat mass,
Your fat
let's
mass,
see.
yes.
Let's see. So this says 40 pounds. I don't think that's right. Hold on, let me
You only had 40 pounds of fat mass?
yeah, that can't be right.
No, that
Um,
doesn't sound right.
that does not sound right at all.
It
I
might be
don't
right now. Yeah, it might be. That's what it is now. But I like to know
yeah,
what it
that's what
is.
that you see, that's the
Start.
thing. I can
Yeah.
tell like now
Hmm.
that's about where I am now because there's well, it was 20 at 240 I was 20% at 240 I was 20% body fat, which means I was 45 or so pounds body fat, maybe more if it
I,
was
I would, I would,
20%.
I would guess more because if you're doing, a
That
50
was
pound
heavy,
drop,
bro.
all right. If you're going a 50
I was a
pound
fat
drop,
dude, bro.
you
I was
know, and
fat.
you're able to maintain your muscle, like off the bat, that's just telling me that you're losing about, you know, anywhere from 45 to 48 pounds of of fat mass if you're able to maintain that muscle like that, with the exception of water as well, water intake, like that. And so if you were able to do that and the majority of it was fat mass, then like that's awesome. Like, you're tracking, as a trainer, that's what I love to see for my clients, you know what I mean? Having that good ratio of fat mass loss to muscle mass, because it's gonna happen. Like, it's inevitable to be able to lose that much weight and not lose some muscle. And
Right,
my
right,
whole
for
thing is
sure.
like to try to maintain, because like it's nearly impossible to try to cut that much weight and then you're still growing muscle, you know what I mean? Like that. So
So
especially with that amount of weight,
one of the things that I can tell you that I even mentioned it, I probably mentioned it Saturday at training or something. One day this past week, I used to roll with the big guys in the gym, like the bigger guys in the gym, right? There were all the ultra heavies and the super heavies. I would roll with them and back and forth rolls, but I could roll with them. Bro,
yeah.
now now I can feel the difference in
How
the size.
how heavy
I
they are.
like, bro. I'm like, you've got to be fucking
Yeah.
kidding me. It's and it's just it's. maybe the scale's off. I mean, I don't really know, but I definitely can feel a strength difference when it matters, if that makes any sense. Like
Are you
when I'm
rolling what's his name? What's Pablo's best friend's name? Heavyweight.
oh, Casio.
Casio, you really with
So,
you rolling with him?
so, so here's the thing. So no, Casio went and opened up he's got his own school now. So he's been doing that a lot more. So I haven't rolled with Casio, but I have been rolling with Castone, Rolly, Adam. Adam's not even that big, but Adam's like 30.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's like man, these guys are just like you can feel the strength difference. I can
Yeah.
feel it. And but that's what I was saying. So to circle, that's what I was saying. Like I had to talk to the nutritionist. It was like I can't train at 1,000 calories a day. Like I'm dying. Like I would get in and then like we do the stretch warm ups and I'd be like, okay, that's it. Like I need to go on. Like I can't
Yeah.
do anything else. And so we decided that because it's so close, because it's 3 pounds, this is where we'll just manipulate fluid because, you know, nobody really wants to manipulate fluid, but 3 pounds of fluid is not terrible. Um, and you can still kind of do it you can still kind of do it safer than what we were doing on Go Freeway, bro.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What we were doing
It's
on Go
not
Freeway
just a
was
sweat
stupid.
box and you're manipulating water weight. It's fast, but what I mean, like good luck having energy after that. And
Right.
so that's the number one thing like I really want to get into and like just the importance of what you're doing right now and boosting up that protein. Like I can't like automatically, with any of my clients right now that whether they're trying to lose weight or they're trying to bulk up, there's going to be one thing that's going to be a common denominator. All right. And that's protein intake. I like that. So because the thing about it is that, if you have a massive amount of fat, all right, and this little bit amount of muscle, all right, and you're trying to drop a body fat percentage, well, what needs to happen? You have to shrink the fat and grow the muscle. Well, let's think about you have a little bit of freaking of fat and you're trying to bulk up and get bigger with muscle. Well, then that means you're still gonna have to grow the muscle. You see
Right.
what I mean? Like that. And ultimately, it's going to do the same thing, whether you're cutting weight or bulking up, it's going to still drop that body fat percentage
Right.
like that. But your intake of your protein, is very important. And rule of thumb, all right, like that, I'm pretty sure your nutritionist told you this, all right, that you want to eat a 1-to-1 ratio, all right, of lean body mass per gram of protein.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
think it was something like that. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. So
That's a
let's take
lot,
for
bro.
instance, let's
That's
take
a
for
lot,
instance for
bro.
you. You're trying to make what's your ideal body weight?
My
You know what I mean?
ideal body, my ideal body weight would be 180, bro.
180. All right. So ideally, if you're trying to cut down to 180, all right, minimum, that's what you need to be eating is 180 grams of protein. All right. Or,
It's a lot. It's a lot
on
of
the
protein,
off
bro.
season, if you're just trying to stay at 200, all right, like that, and just be ready at any moment's notice to cut back down, all right, then you bump it up to 200 grams or like that. So ideally, whatever your body weight, your ideal body weight is, that's what you need to be eating, all right, in protein. All right. So that's just a rule of thumb. All right.
So,
So right
so,
now, like, what are you intaking right now?
bro, it's but it's all chicken breast, bro. I'm just
Chicken
eating
breast.
like I'm eating a lot of chicken breast. The only reason I'm eating so much chicken breast right now is because
It's the
t-
leanest. Yeah.
but beef takes a long time to digest, and
Uh,
we're 2 weeks out or a week out because I compete Friday, so we're a week
mhm,
out. So I've kind of scaled back on the red meats just
mhm.
because you want to be as light as you want to be as light as possible, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, man, it's a lot of chicken breast. Lot, bro. This is gonna sound weird because I hate eggs. I hate eggs. I
Yeah.
hate eggs, bro. I hate eggs, but I eat so much chicken and egg that it's
I,
mind blowing, bro.
bro, like, I get so cringy when I freaking talk to people that, and that's the first thing they say is like, I hate eggs. I like eggs are the most nutritionally dense pound for pound food item in the food pyramid. Freaking that you could be intaking. What I mean? I don't give a fuck if you gotta suck it up, and just do it, for the cause. For me, I love eggs. I can go breakfast, lunch, and dinner with eggs. You know what I mean, like that. But I like,
So legit,
it
that's
hurts me every time I hear people tell me that they don't like eggs, and I was like, oh, you don't know what you're missing out. You know what I
so.
mean?
So the funny thing is this, because bro, just like you said, I hate eggs. I
Hmm.
hate eggs, but I eat them because of the nutritional value in them. And
Yeah,
you know what I do? I will um eat them first. I will wolf them down. I'll put some pico de gallo on them. I'll, just
hey,
and
like,
then I got it,
whoa.
but you got to eat them, bro. You got to eat them,
Yeah,
bro,
I'm like,
because
if anything, I tell people, I'm like, man, just throw it in the scramble. You know what I mean? I like
right,
that. Like, you disguise it with something else, if you have to. But like, I'm like, do not cheat your body out of how nutritionally dense, this item is. You know what I mean? Compared to, just chicken breast or, any type of lean
spinach,
steak or, ground beef or fish and stuff like that. But then again, let me get to back to you about you just eating chicken right now. What I mean? Like, what you get from chicken, all right, you're not getting from your steak, what I mean, your red meats. And what you're getting from
right,
your red meats, you're not getting from your fish. So it's always a great thing to be cycling through those things. And if you know you're not cycling through those things, all right, the number one thing that you should be taking every freaking morning to start off your day is a multivitamin. All right. If you're not doing those things. All right.
right,
And so, like these are things that I tell my clients as well. I'm like, look, I understand if you have a hatred to red meat and maybe you have, this stigmatism, what I mean, to that, or like you just can't do fish because it probably smells or whatever like that. Like, it's fine. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, these things have vitamins and nutrients, when you eat it, that like you're not getting from just one source of protein or or leave it to any type of carb or fats, what I mean. So make
right.
sure that you're always supplementing with your vitamins, if you know that you're not intaking a lot of a lot of steak, because then that's going to give you a lot of your iron, your magnesium. All right, then you're getting it from your fish, which is going to give you a lot of your omegas and things like that. Because if you're not taking those is for whatever reason it is, what I mean, just preference or religion and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, make sure that you're at least taking a multivitamin, like that, for sure. So.
So it's funny on the vitamin blast because we never really think about it, but like when you're a little kid, like when you're at your like you're healthiest, right? Like you don't smoke, you
Mhm.
don't drink, like you're a little kid, right? And mainly everything that's geared toward little kids to drink is not super high in sugar, super high, it's as healthy as you could get just buying out of the store.
Mhm.
But you still give them Flintstone vitamins, bro. Like you still like you give the kids vitamins, bro,
No,
because you
like, I
need
see that
vitamins
so
to be.
much, and I'm happy you say that because when I'm questioning my clients, especially if they're parents, I'm
Right.
like, I'm like, you're doing this and this and this for your kid, and you're telling them, hey, you got to do this because it's healthy, or hey, you got to do this because you need it, like that, and then you're not even doing it yourself. I'm like, okay, think about that. What I mean? That shit never stops. You know what I mean? You need to
Right.
make sure to be intaking that stuff. Right now, all right, every morning my routine consists about anywhere from like 10 to 12 different vitamins and like vitamins and supplements like that. I mean, I'm like freaking swallowing about anywhere from 6 to 9 freaking pills in the morning all at once, and I'm taking my creatine powders, and I'm taking my my Shilajit gummies and vitamin
Yep.
D
Yep. Yep.
gummies, all that shit. What I mean, every morning. I like, it's rare that I skip. What I mean, like that.
Right.
And I know when freaking as my children get older and stuff like that, like, yeah, like I'm gonna make sure to stay on top of them too, for sure. But I'm like, especially when you're getting older, I'm like, man, you're just getting more deficient, and it's harder for you to get your body, to process those things, or even freaking develop those things. I'm like you need to supplement with these things.
Your
What I
body's not
mean, for
making it the
sure.
same way that it used to.
Yeah,
Like you have to have it, bro. You have to have it. So,
like that. So,
uh,
but right now, like, what'd you say that you're intaking for your protein? How many grams? Like right now, are you really trying to shoot for?
Um, so it would be about 180. Now, I haven't really tracked um in like the past couple of weeks the total amount because I'm still trying to keep that
Hmm.
number kind of low because I'm right here on the cusp. But I'm gonna rev up. This is I hate saying it like this because it's dumb. But I'm gonna rev my diet back up when I come back in. But it's not a
Hmm.
diet to lose weight. It's just putting my diet back on track to
Well, what
continue
they
to
call
go.
it is you're just reverse dieting. Like that. You're
Yeah,
just gonna bump up your calories a little bit more, refeed yourself. You know what I mean? All
I,
for the sake of having more energy, like that. You know what
I'm
I mean?
bro. I'm,
That's
I'm
all it
gonna.
really
Well,
is.
yeah, but I'm still gonna try to lose my weight because I still want to go back down to
Hmm.
180. I'm gonna hit. Of course, I'm gonna hit the gym harder. Um, like pyramids and all that. I'm gonna hit the gym
Hmm.
harder. But I just, I'm really when I'm rolling, when I'm walking around, I'm loving the way I feel, right? Like it feels really good. But you have to do it. You have to do it right. I think I sent you something the other day with this dude that had like a wrestling camp, and he was
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
"We're
No,
not gonna cut weight in my camp."
yeah, I
Like,
love that message, especially for kids. You know what I mean? And we've had this conversation too before, earlier episodes and things like that about kids cutting weight, like that. I'm against it. You know what I mean? At that age, to develop a bad relationship with exercise, food, and diet, like that, like it is pivotal at that age. And like, as a coach, I wouldn't do that. You know what I
right?
mean? I'm like, no, like just like win or lose, you know what I mean? Just focus on your skill set. You know what I mean? Like that, like later on in your adult life, like yeah, it's gonna matter more like that. But right now, like it just have fun, eat, and like, so what if you wrestled up, or grappled up, against a kid that's, 5, 8 pounds heavier than you and you lost, you know what I mean? Don't think that like, oh, I gotta cut this extra 10 pounds to make a lower weight class like that. And then now you're killing yourself and you hate it. And like that, I've seen it so many times, where parents are like gun ho on their kids, freaking cutting weight and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm like, and then, then now they, you stun their growth and, and they're not getting all the nutrition and things like that. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I
That's
mean?
the
Like,
part that's the
mhm,
part that people don't understand, bro. When you're
yeah, you
doing
know what I
that,
mean?
like if you're not going to do it all the way right, like it could have negative effects, bro. Like
Hmm.
we've all seen the guys in the UFC that get up when they go to stand on the scale and they look like skeletons, bro, and they're
And look at
passing out and
Brian Ortega.
yeah,
Freaking this last UFC was in jeopardy because after he made weight, he passed out because of his weight cut, like that, and he had to be he had to go to the hospital, like that, and freaking that UFC was in jeopardy for him fighting against Aljamain Sterling, like
right.
that, Sterling, freaking like that because of that weight cut. Like, why would you want that for your 10-year-old kid, son or daughter? Like, come on
It's
now,
it
like be
it's just
smarter.
not it's just not
Mhm.
worth it now if you want to have the kid compete in a lower division and you diet and you do and you make the proper diet and you do the have the vitamins and supplements and Flintstone vitamin you
Mhm.
do all that, cut the McDonald's out, cut the
Yeah,
sodas out. Like if you
yeah.
do all that, hey,
Naturally, he's not going to be weighing 5 extra pounds. You know what I mean?
I
Like that.
completely get it,
Yeah.
but I just
Uh-huh.
but whatever.
Uh, yeah.
I
So
just don't think it's healthy.
so okay, so right now, with this weight cut and stuff like that, would you say that chicken has been your primary source of protein, or what would you say is your major primary source of protein right now that you're really, putting a big dent throughout the day,
It's
to for
it's
your
it's
intake?
gonna be chicken. It's chicken.
Chicken
It's
like that.
chicken.
Where you, breakfast,
It's
lunch, and
chicken.
dinner. Where you're doing a whole chicken breast, or what are you doing? How many?
It's chicken. Because don't you say it, you motherfucker. But we eat a lot of chicken in this house. Don't you fucking say it. Don't you fucking say it. I see the look on your fucking face
I,
with the
hey, watermelon has a lot of potassium. Okay.
so uh so but it's primarily chicken.
Yeah.
But it's because when we're here and Ellie's cooking and all that, we've got my parents, and so it's just a lot of chicken back and forth. We're doing that. I will balance it out. I mean, I've got to have my
Okay.
some
I
skirt
got
steaks every
chicken
now and
lined up
again,
this week for my meal prep, bro. So I'm there
bro.
with you. All
But
right.
it was before, it was primarily chicken and salmon. Is
hmm
was
Are
like the
you
two.
doing are you and then when you're doing the protein like protein drinks, are you doing like the pre-made protein drinks like that, or are you doing the powder?
So 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 that's a good question. Which ones do you
hmm
prefer? See, I kind of go back and forth on those because whey protein
I
is
prefer the
cool.
powder because I mix my whey powder in with different ingredients. You know what I mean? I'm
Right,
not just doing it in a shake like that. I rarely do a protein shake like that. I'm always trying to find ways that I could put my protein whey powder into my whole foods. You know what I mean? And what do I
right.
mean by that? Into my yogurts. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I last a couple episodes again like that. I've been making this dessert yogurt, protein powder mix like that, and I've came up with a banana pudding one. I came up with a cookies and cream one, a berry cheesecake one. I've done a pistachio one like that. Like I like it. It is all it consists with the ingredients. The main ingredients is non-fat yogurt, protein powder, zero sugar Cool Whip, and then just whatever flavor mix of Jello powder, like a powder in there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So and the consistency is real thick. You know what I mean? Like that, and like it really curbs my sweet tooth appetite.
dang.
When it, like it gets late at night and things like that. So like but it's still like you're talking about three to 400 calories, 30 to 40 freaking grams of protein in a dessert. You know what I mean?
Right, 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 right.
If the times that I'm eating oatmeal, I'll throw some protein powder in there to boost up the thing. Even in my coffee, bro. You like coffee? I don't
Not
think you
like
like.
coffee. I do
No,
not
like
like coffee.
for me, you know what I mean? I'm more of an energy drink person like that. But if I'm drinking coffee and I put one or two scoops of vanilla just whey powder in there, like that, like bro, uh, whey powder is milk. You understand that, right?
Right.
But it's
Then-
isolated milk. So instead of throwing in this sugary ass creamer, why not throw in, a scoop or two of protein powder, and then you're getting your coffee plus you're intaking a good amount of protein to start your day. Because then, all of my clients, I tell my clients this too. I'm like, what do you eat for breakfast? Oh, I just drink a coffee and a bagel. All right, well, let's change that. You know what I mean? We're gonna
right.
work we're gonna work to the eggs and the sausage and the bacon and stuff like that later if you don't want to wake up an hour early and cook like that. But right now, hey, I need you to throw in a scoop or two of protein powder into your coffee, and I promise you, you're not gonna freaking hate it. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. You're throwing your coffee creamer in there, and you're throwing your milk in there anyway for your lattes and shit like that. Well, get your protein in. You know what I mean? And like, bro, don't knock it until you try it. You know what I mean?
Bro, so
Freaking.
so they tried to get me on coffee, man. And I've tried it like twice, and I'm just like, I can't deal. But
Mhm.
the thing with so here's the thing that I have protein, right? So my body responds terribly to whey protein
I would always
because
recommend doing a plant based if that's the case.
so
Mhm.
the plant-based proteins, um, I feel like the powder form of them is better than
Yeah. Yeah, they're not gonna
than
leave
the
you
ready drinks.
bloated and freaking really full, and then obviously freaking, if you feel like you're gonna have to rush to the restroom, and like every freaking 30 minutes and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
yeah, I do understand that, and then I automatically recommend, freaking a plant based. Plant based is gonna be a little bit harder to get in, the necessary a protein that you need like that, but it's a better alternative if you are you're like if your digestive system is sensitive like that for sure. But
And see,
and
that's
that's why
the
I always
issue
say
is
just go ahead and do whole foods anyway. You know what I mean?
right.
Which is going to be a better. It's always going to be king. No matter what.
Because it's from my experience, the ratio is you have to do more of the vegan protein to equal up to the whey protein. Like you can't do it
like yeah, you know what I
like
mean?
it's not just like just and I'm talking about just over the counter. Like if you just get one, it's not going to be scoop for scoop. It's going to be,
No,
25 30 grams over here and,
yeah,
18 to
like
20 over here
whey
and
isolate is it's going to be king, when it comes to freaking getting in, like a concentrated dose of protein, for sure, compared to plant or vegan, like that. But like again, what I mean, if you do have a sensitive stomach, like yeah, I would always recommend that. Like stay away from that so your stomach's not all jacked up throughout the day, like that, and like you're able to operate and you're not just running to the restroom every freaking 30, 45 minutes and stuff like that. You know, so now let me ask you this though. All right.
all right.
Would you think, all right, uh, you have a sweet tooth, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So,
Ollie's.
so, you
Ollie's.
know, I have a sweet tooth, but I love me some ice cream. All right. Like that.
Okay.
So now, what are your thoughts about getting a good protein serving from breast milk ice cream?
Oh God. Oh, listen.
This is a real thing. You understand that?
Bro, listen. Oh God. Okay, so I've never thought or heard about it, but I will tell you this. This is going to sound very weird. I can imagine that breast milk ice cream has got to be supreme and amazing as far as nutritional value.
I'm, I'm,
All right.
I'm sure, from the source, it
Well,
can be.
because we because when you think about it, which is kind of the same thing with eggs. Like everybody talks about why eggs are very nutritionally dense, but that's
Yeah,
because that's what that's what the life starts at. Like the life breeds in the egg. It doesn't breed in the muscle of the cow. It breeds in the egg.
yeah,
And the breast milk, which is why whey protein is so good, is because it's what they give the baby cows to nourish them to make them grow big and strong.
yeah,
So I can imagine that from that aspect, it's got to be very good.
bro.
Now, now, I can't
It's the,
imagine eating any breast milk ice cream, bro.
this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard hit the market. All right. There's an ice cream company called Frida, and if I'm correct, like, don't they have like baby bottles and like chew toys and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
Frida.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't. I
They
like.
make the
Okay.
nasal thing. Yeah,
Like
the
that.
nasal
So
free.
let me
Yeah, yeah,
read this and do a little research as I'm reading this, to see if it's the same company. All right. Frida, all right, has partnered up with a boutique ice cream maker, Oddfellas, all right, to release a breast milk inspired ice cream. All right. And it is blowing up across the US. All right. There's pictures of Kim K, you know, obviously they're going to be at the forefront, like that. I don't know how true this is because there's pictures of even Barack Obama eating this shit. You know what I mean? So it's a limited edition pint. They're selling at $12.99. All right, nationwide, and then on top of that, like uh, also research how many grams of protein are in like in an ounce of breast milk because it doesn't say in here like that at all. What do you
yeah.
find?
Okay. Okay. So one, I am seeing, I am seeing the breast milk ice cream by Frida, and they're
It's the
talking
same
about
company that we're thinking about.
um I don't know if it's the same company, but it certainly looks like it. Doing 9 months. Oddly enough, though, here's what's inside. I'm not seeing anything that's telling me what the calorie count is.
Well, I tell you what, go ahead and just research Frida ice cream nutritional label. Look, from my experience, all right, and I don't have a lot of experience, Okay, like that. The times that I've tested, I can't even believe I'm about to say this. The times that I've tasted breast milk, all right, and you're married, you
Yeah,
had two kids, all right,
it,
needs need to be fulfilled, all right,
it's a, it's just a thing. It happens,
all right, and you're doing the business, all right. Foreplay is going on, and bro, it's very chalky, all
bro.
right.
I'm not a fan.
So,
Just put it like that. I'm not a fan.
what are you getting with the nutritional label?
Bro, I'm not getting anything I'm not getting anything from the nutrition label at all. I'm getting they're telling, they're talking about the ingredients and blah 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 blah, but the actual like nutrition label, like x amount of this, x amount of that, I don't see that.
I'm
Um
gonna have to, I'm gonna have to find that out. All right,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna have
find
to.
this out. But all right, with that headline, all right, I also saw freaking something that like the same day with that. All right, check this out. All right, because this is liquid gold for women. All right, obviously men, we're out this business, but for women, women are earning up to $1,000 a day, all right, selling breast milk for bodybuilders. All right,
Wow, bro.
like that. So that is just crazy, to
I
think about
mean,
that. There are bodybuilders out there that are freaking hopping on a trend, all right, to maximizing their muscle, their muscle mass potential, all right, eating or drinking breast milk.
so I could kind of see that because um just bro, it, so check this out. I'm just gonna put it up because I don't want to say all these things. Look at look at all the nutrients that are in human milk.
You're gonna have to blow that up some. I can't really see it.
Oh, you can't see it.
No.
Okay, let's make it larger. Um, look, I'll get off of it. It's you're talking about vitamin C, vitamin D, iodine, iron, magnesium, selenium, phosphorus, protein, zinc, copper, B12, potassium, riboflavin, thiamine. I mean, like fatty acids. You got all kind of lipids. You got water. Like, bro, this is like we were talking about. It's very nutritionally dense, right? I mean, bro, it's I can't imagine all that, but I don't want that. It's breast milk ice cream. I keep pulling up this picture of this breast milk ice cream, bro. It just doesn't.
Bro, your wife could be like, "What are you searching up?" All
Well, so
right, this is what
this
I
thing
found right
says
here.
it's not made of breast milk. It only mimics the flavor, which is weird.
All right, this is what I found right here, man. All right, so for one pint, which is three servings, all right, one serving, all right, consists of 280 calories. All right, uh, you're getting only 5 grams of protein in that one serving. Altogether, you're getting 16 grams, which is going to total 840 calories if you eat that whole pint. I like that. Man, I might as well just eat some Ben and Jerry's, bro. All right.
But that doesn't even sound
and
that doesn't
and the
even
thing
sound
about it,
good.
the biggest number that really jumps out at me right now is that it's still, man, if you eat that whole pint of ice cream, because I don't know who's eating just, you know, a third of this pint of ice cream, like that, bro. I'm eating the whole pint. All right,
I,
like
bro,
that.
a pint is a serving.
Yeah,
If I'm eating,
I'm buying this pint to eat it all at night. Watching some Netflix. Okay,
right now.
like that.
This is going right now.
And freaking, it has 65 grams of sugar. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm better off buying some Ben and Jerry's and throwing a scoop of protein powder in there. You see what I mean? So,
But see, I just don't. The one thing I just saw that they were like it only mimics the flavor of breast milk. That's weird. Like I don't. I mean, whatever. People have their likes and do what you want to do. But I'm not gonna pay $13 for breast milk flavor ice
bro,
cream.
nah, like I want to know that this is like the real deal. Like, let me taste what this really
Uh,
tastes like
like let
if
me
I'm
see who
some
this came
weirdo like
from. I
So
want to see. I want to see where this came from. Uh,
yeah, like it's just what
I don't know,
ethnicity
man.
is this from? You know what I mean? Is
That
that
that's a
Cambodian breast milk?
ooh. This
I
real
see.
Cambodian,
You know what I
son.
mean? Some like
Diddy was
that
on. He
real.
may have been onto something, bro. I don't know, man. I just
Bro,
know
he's
that
been ahead of the game, since forever.
take that.
All right.
They do a lot. They do a lot of weird things, and like I said, but when you start talking about actual breast milk, like actual breast milk, it's the same thing as actual milk. It's the same thing as anything comes from your body. If you're
No,
gonna
I'm gonna
get
stop you
actual,
right there. I'll stop you right there. It is nothing like regular
well,
milk.
no. I'm talking about the way that it because it's made inside the body. So if you take,
Mhm.
and we've all heard about it, if you have a woman that's breastfeeding, she's not supposed to drink alcohol because if she drinks alcohol, it comes out in the breast milk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so these bodybuilders that are getting this breast milk, like you have to make like if it's gonna be good and worthwhile, and you're paying $1,000 a week or whatever it is,
An
like it
ounce and
needs,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Like,
it
man,
needs to
let
be
me
like
see.
this needs to be like I mean, if you're gonna do it, it's got to be good, like good, like as
Right
far as
here,
healthy.
on this the bodybuilder thing, it says that for gym enthusiasts, the price is $2 per ounce, 4 times more expensive than regular milk. A woman sells it through social media and spends earnings on vacation, weddings, and helping the family out like that. And honestly, this is not the first time I've ever heard this happening. You know what I mean? Like I've heard of women. You know what I mean? Because like breast milk is produced. As long as the woman is willing to keep pumping.
As long as she's pumping,
Yeah,
yeah,
like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of women don't like doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that. Like it hurts, it's irritating, like that. It's a fucking full-time job. And then a lot of them too can't even produce enough milk even for the child, let alone be selling it as a side hustle. You know what I mean? But I've
Oh
heard
my
of
god,
women,
that's so much, bro.
freaking for years on end, and they're freezing it, in their freaking garage, freezer and shit like that, and then selling these, like that, like man, like good on you. If you're making freaking $1,000 a day, you know what I mean, for sure, and you're just an at-home mom, like that, like, hey,
I
that's
would
what's up.
just,
You know what I mean?
I would just want to know that because you get if the cow is eating and it's eating pesticide grass and blah 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 blah, all that comes out in the milk, and if it's since it's breast milk, this is not being pasteurized
Okay.
or run through chemicals and all this stuff. This is just coming straight
You
from the
better be taking
source.
all your supplements. You better be
It,
working out twice a day. Be
I,
intaking all your water. You know what I mean,
it,
like that. Like I want to know what the source is. You
I,
know what I
it,
mean, and how healthy this source is to know that I'm gonna
the,
be spending $2 an ounce. You know what I mean, for
right,
like if I ever go down this route for sure.
right, because you
You know what I mean?
you're getting you're trying to figure out how come you can't sleep at night because you pay them $2 an ounce for breast milk. It's because you get it from some meth addicted,
Some
weirdo.
some meth addict, and
You're
then
just
you just your mind is just running all the time, and you're just always
right.
hungry.
You're
You know what I
spun out
mean?
of your mind.
No,
Oh,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Bro,
I
it's
don't
just
know, bro. I don't even want to see your search history, bro. Like I think, like your algorithm is torn up, bro. I don't want to know. I just,
this is on my bodybuilder page, bro. So just think about that.
bro,
I mean, for
bro. I
sure.
don't know what's in there, bro. But I mean, hey, the thing is, whether you get it from breast milk or wherever, bro. Um, and this is from somebody who didn't really appreciate the importance of diet until I was really like like early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because when you're young, you just kind of eat whatever, and then you know I love him to death, but Saul was not a nutritionist, bro, at all. Saul was he was a nose to the ground grinder. Like you're gonna get
Yeah.
there, and if you have to cut your pinky off to lose that extra 2 ounces, just cut your pinky off and go in the cage and win the fight. And so, but nutrition, bro, like you have to, and once you get it right, like I'm pretty sure for you, like once you get it right, like you've been doing it for a while, you understand what you can do, and you don't have to weigh it and do it. You do it. You're like, oh, if I do this, it's about right, and I may be a little high today, a little low tomorrow, but it'll all balance itself out,
No,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you start to feel really. I feel, bro, I feel really good. Like I
Good.
feel good.
So let me ask you this, all right? Because like, are you meal prepping a lot at home right now?
I am not meal prepping a lot, but that is because uh my wife does not believe in eating the same thing for more than 2 days.
Ugh, that's just so hard. It really is. You know what I mean? I feel for you, like that, and freaking for me, like I could be a robot like that, bro. If it's
Bro.
just chicken, broccoli, and rice for the week, that's what it is for the week, and then next week I'll just change it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I feel you. You know what I mean? So let's say, okay, what's your go-to spot? You know, when you're on the go and you want to, eat something a little bit healthier. You know what I mean? Like you want to be
Uh,
health conscious. So what's your go-to spot if you want to be health conscious and you want to pick something up real quick? What's your go-to spot?
um, it's either gonna be Subway or Chick-fil-A.
So, okay, everybody's favorite. You know what I mean? I like Subway,
It's
Chick-fil-A. That's
it's
at the
it's either
top.
gonna be
I'm
Subway
more
or
of a
Chick-fil-A.
Firehouse kind of guy, not
Bro,
Subway.
I
Subway.
bro, I love the hook and ladder from Firehouse, bro.
You know what I mean? Like that. And like I can't knock freaking Chick-fil-A. All right. So let me give you some options, all right, like that. And anybody listening out there for sure, you know what I mean? Like if you know, you are working hard and freaking then you think that you're just going to your run of the mill fast food spot and you're just gonna pick the grilled chicken nuggets and stuff instead of the freaking fried chicken nuggets like that. Let me give you some freaking healthy items to be picking up at these spots. And let's start at Chick-fil-A right now. All right. Chick-fil-A has a 30 count grilled chicken nugget. All right. Like that. You know, right? Bro, I can kill those chicken nuggets. All right. 30 counts, done. Easy. All right. A 30 count grilled chicken, all right, nugget pack from Chick-fil-A, you're talking about 98 grams of protein, bro. All right.
That's pretty good.
Only 500 calories. Bro, I'll take
Uh
that all
yeah,
day.
that's
All
really
right.
good.
All day. Okay.
You said 90 grams?
98, almost 100 grams of protein.
Bro,
All
you could
right.
toggle through that all day.
Bro, that's easy. All right. I eat breakfast and then I go there for lunch and I go there for dinner. I already ate all my protein intake just like that.
Right,
All right.
right.
Easy.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? Like that. Now, I'm not saying that, freaking live your life by this menu item. All right. There's way better ways to freaking get your protein in and eat healthier. Yes. But like, if you find yourself, all right, at these spots, all right, this is going to be a high protein, low calorie freaking meal. All
Or
right.
you're out of
At these
town or
groceries.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like, especially for people that work all the time on the road, you know what I mean? Truck
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
drivers, people that freaking are always, flying out and coming back and stuff like that. Like, I get those type of clients all the time, you know what I mean? Like that. Let's go to another favorite spot of yours. I'm pretty sure Popeyes. All right. Okay. And
Bro,
and
Rex
this,
Popeyes,
hey,
bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This has been my go tos. Well, every time I'm like I don't want to cook, right? Because I have a Popeyes right around the corner from my spot. All right, and when
Right.
I don't want to cook and I haven't had nothing meal prep, bro, I shoot over there and I used to get their chicken tender meal, their fried chicken tender meal. Man, best chicken in the game. I'm not gonna lie. All right,
Right.
but then I just found out recently. All right, did you know that they have a blackened chicken tender meal?
No, I didn't know they had a blackened chicken. I've never tried it because I'm going to
Bro,
Popeyes. I want the fried
all right.
chicken, bro.
Popeyes blackened chicken tender meal. All right, delivers 43 grams of protein for only 280 calories. Bro, that is my go-to. All right,
That's
and you know what? I got that for one of my clients too. You know what I mean? They're like, you know
that's
that
good, bro.
Popeyes has a bomb ass freaking grilled chicken. I was like, grilled chicken? I never knew that they had grilled chicken. I was
That's
like, bro,
good, bro.
that same day I went and got that black and tan, bro, bomb. All right,
That's real.
43 grams, 280 calories. All right, if you at Popeyes,
I don't think a
okay,
lot of people realize how full you'll get off of like 200 calories, bro. If you eat something
bro.
that's dense enough, that 200 calories is a lot. That
I'm
that
like,
can be a
that's why
lot of food,
protein
bro.
is so important because it just keeps you so satiated throughout the day, like that. That it's just so high in protein, like that, and it just keeps you satiated. Plus, it's building muscle and recovering your body as it is. and then you're not hungry for like 2 to 3 hours into your next meal. You know what I mean? And you're saving all those calories as opposed to if you just get a high carb, high freaking fat diet. You know what I mean? You're just eating chips in, you know, in a burger or pizza and stuff like that, and then
Double
you're
meat
freaking already
Whataburgers,
hungry again. You
the
know,
bacon and
freaking 30
cheese.
minutes, 45 minutes later. All right. And that's another topic that we could talk about because it just, that goes into like nerdy, science about, ghrelin and leptins and stuff like that that I could talk about later on and stuff like that. But I'm like, as for protein, bro, that shit will freaking, it will just keep you satiated and it will curb your appetite for a very long time. So you're really bypassing a lot of calories that you probably would be eating, if you ate something else, you know what I mean?
If you
Like
ate
a
it,
bag of potato chips and a Coke, you know what I mean? Because like how many people eat that all the time? You know what I
bro,
mean?
and you call yourself snacking, and you're putting a bunch of dumb dead calories in,
Yeah.
and you're not
Empty calories.
full. You're not full. You're not
Yeah.
doing anything, and then when you can just go and eat chicken breast, maybe if you need it, maybe tablespoonful of rice
I'm like, and
like
then and
this,
then
and then
think
you're
about
good,
this,
bro.
man. When you're getting real good whole food protein in like that, your body burns more calorie to digest, all right, and process that protein than it is with carbs and fats. So you're burning calories as you're eating to lose fat. All right. Because you're eating something that's building muscle that's going to boost up your basal metabolic rate to lose fat naturally. Like, think about that. You know what I mean? And we can get into a whole conversation about that later. But right now, let me continue. All right. Here's another chicken spot, KFC. I personally do not like KFC. I feel like they have fallen off, man. I
Oh,
had some
I love
KFC like a
KFC.
couple months ago, and I was like, nah, this ain't it. I like, man, something just went left with them, and like I'm like, whatever. But if you are at KFC and you do favor KFC, a 36-piece chicken nugget freaking delivers 108 grams of protein. All right, and this is by far because it's still fried. All right, like that, 1,260 calories. All right, but that's 36 pieces. You know what? You're talking about 30 pieces for Chick-fil-A, and it's only 500, but it's grilled.
But it's
That's a
grilled. But this
big
is
difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you got the grease and the oil that's adding all the extra for
You know
that.
what? I'd rather just stay with freaking Chick-fil-A because you're talking about almost 100 grams of protein with 500 calories. All right. Opposed to freaking 108 grams of protein with a 1,200. This would
The
not be on
on,
my list. But
the only way
if
that I
you,
would go with that 1,200 calories is you've got to be like a heavy worker outer. Like you got to be
like,
a
yeah,
heavy
like, you
worker
know,
outer.
you're going to be burning those calories off
You
throughout the day because you're doing two-a-days and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you've
get
got
it.
to be a heavy worker outer, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
I'm happy
and
you
then
said that. I get it.
and then
All
the
right.
fried will kind of give you like the I'm doing something kind of dirty. I'm doing something kind of dirty,
You
but
know what I mean?
but
Yeah, you
30
know,
30 nuggets for 500 calories. That
yeah,
would be,
Chick-fil-A
that would
all
be
day.
my win. That would be my win. And
Chick-fil-A
I
all day,
mean,
and I still can have the Chick-fil-A sauce and know
get
that it ain't gonna be crazy freaking amount of calories.
get the
I get
spicy
it.
sriracha.
Yeah.
Boom, killing that thing.
Last thing right here, all right, because I know this is another popular freaking restaurant out there, Panda Express. You know what I mean? I'm all about some Panda Express. All right, teriyaki chicken. All right,
Love
so
it,
just
love
if
it.
you're
I
doing
love it.
a freaking
I
a
love
single
it.
serving bowl,
Okay,
not the two-piece
not the
combo
two
or the
piece. Yeah, yeah.
three-piece like that, just a single side, just a bowl like that. You're talking about 43 grams of protein at 340 calories. All right.
Is that the teriyaki with the super greens, or is that with the rice?
Nah, like you know how just teriyaki with the rice, like a bowl.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just a bowl. So just white rice and then
Okay.
teriyaki, like a single serving of teriyaki, like that, man. Hey, other than the KFC one, like that, I'm all about that, bro. The
Right.
Panda Express one, that freaking blackened chicken from Popeyes, or the freaking grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A. Like those are spots that I know for a fact that a lot of people will go and thinking that they're eating healthy, you know what I mean? Because they're getting the grilled chicken and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I'm not saying live or die, by this menu and stuff like that. But if you find yourself out and about and you weren't prepared because you didn't meal prep and you're fucking hungry as shit, all right, I'm like, these are some great options for sure. I like
I
that.
mean, especially if you I mean if you're having if you're if you're eating right, so you're having breakfast right, right? Let's say you wake up, you don't have everything you need for breakfast, but you have a shake for breakfast in the morning. That should be 40 G's of protein right there. 30 to 40 G's of protein right there. If you're you're making a shake right. So if you do the shake, 40 G's of protein, probably 200 calories, and then you do the 30 count, even if you can't eat the whole 30 count at one time, right? 'Cause you may not be able to eat the whole 30 count at one time, but you can't eat the whole
When I'm
30 count,
hungry, bro, that's going down easy.
bro.
All right, I'm
I know
eating
how you
like
are about
two
eating
at
the
a
meat,
time, bro. I
bro.
like.
Especially if you're doing it because you're not eating the fries and the da. If you just have
No.
the
Just the
nuggets,
nuggets,
bro.
Diet
I,
Coke, Coke Zero on the side, bro. All
bro, that's a
right,
whole day. That's literally a
money.
whole day worth of protein.
Yeah, you
That's
know what I mean.
our damn near, yeah. That's good,
So
bro.
next time y'all find yourself freaking, driving and searching because you hangry, hey, hit up one of those spots and freaking order one of those meals, man. And that's gonna be a great alternative, if you were freaking unprepared and didn't have your freaking, your meal prep, box, your little sad chicken with your freaking green beans or freaking broccoli and rice with your sriracha sauce, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I do the same thing, but you know what? The next day I get right back on track. And it's all good, for sure.
But so on that same vein, um, one of the things that I will try to do, I employ two different techniques, and I think we talked about these before. One is when I go out to eat, I look at the menu. I look
Hmm.
at the menu and I try to figure out what the nutrition content of all the stuff on the menu is, right?
Hmm.
And most of the menus have it listed, so you can kind of see you like they'll tell you like, oh, you can get the T-bone steak, and it's either 800 calories or 1700 calories, but that's depending on the sides that you pick. So go
Yeah.
look at the sides and figure out an approximation of the sides calorie count. You could go through and
Mhm.
figure you go for it, or you could just go through your phone and look for the actual nutrition content. The other thing, and so I'll kind of try to piece together a meal like that, like if I'm in a restaurant. The other thing that I will try to do is this. Let's say that you're out with your significant other, right?
Mhm.
You're trying to eat healthy, they're trying to eat healthy. You know what happens when you get the 1700 calorie dinner and you split it in two? It's now an 800 calorie dinner. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So sometimes you could save a little bit of money, you could save a little bit of calories, you could still, have that dine out experience.
You're not overeating, what I mean? That's the
Right.
biggest for sure.
Yeah, oh, overeating, overeating is the cause. And you
No.
overeat when you eat chips and soda. And you're
Hmm.
hungry, again in 5 minutes because you didn't eat anything and now you're hungry again, your body's not full, and now you're, hey, I need to eat something else. And say, man, I just ate. Well, maybe I'll go get another bag of chips and another soda or a few
Hmm.
more cookies because I need to be, and now you're just eating a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
No overeating, bro.
I like. What happens when that when you do that, you eat a bag of chips and a soda, for a quick little freaking meal, for lunch and stuff like that. All right, and I can go into in more depth about it. All right, but what it happens is that it spikes your ghrelin. Ghrelin, all right, is a hormone, all right, that's secreted, all right, to tell you that you're hungry. Okay, like that. Leptin, all right, is a hormone secreted that tells you that you're full. So when you buy that sugary soda and you buy that freaking that low calorie, freaking high carb, high saturated fat, freaking chips, thinking that that's a meal, all right. In actuality, you're just freaking doing yourself a disservice because what you're gonna do, you're gonna spike those hormones up, saying that all right, 30 minutes later, you're freaking hungry even more. Yeah. All right. And then freaking your Lipton's is never satisfied because, and then these foods are designed, to keep you hungry. All right. Doritos, Coke, all these things, they put massive amount of freaking money, all right, to make sure that it keeps you, freaking your appetite high so you want more. All right.
Right.
And then that's where all these extra freaking calories come from because, all right, you just ate those Doritos, you ate that bag of Doritos, and you ate that freaking, I mean, and drank that Coke. All right. And then freaking 20, 30 minutes later, because your ghrelin is sending those freaking signals again that you're hungry again, then guess what you're going to go back to? Maybe you go back to a honey bun. You know what I mean? Maybe you go back to a cosmic brownie, like that. Maybe you go eat some Oreos, you know what I mean? And you down another Coke like that. Like all you're doing is just sending, your body's never satiated as opposed to protein. All right. Where now freaking you eat that protein and your body freaking, it's already shutting down that ghrelin and freaking, and your leptins are saying that you're already full. All right. And we need to digest this. All right. Plus, on top of that, your body is freaking, going in overtime to burn all these calories, mean that you just ate because they're nutritionally dense, you know, now what are you doing? All right, freaking, if you are freaking working out and stuff like that, that protein is going to do its job and build the muscle and recover, for you like that. And because you are freaking building muscle like that, then now your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, all right, which is, that's your calories just to sustain life. If you sit on
Right.
the couch all day and you don't do nothing at all like that, for me, it's almost like to 2,000 calories. You know what I mean? If I just
Right.
sit on the couch watching freaking the Texans beat some ass, like that, my body, all day, my body's going to be burning close to 2,000 calories because I put in the time in the gym and build enough muscle and I'm freaking feeding myself, the adequate amount of protein like that. And so when I'm really freaking staying on top of my protein and I'm building more muscle, it's only going to go up. And I naturally, all right, I'm able to freaking burn calories or like that and burn fat when I just want to take a day off like that. But as opposed to someone that's freaking not, putting in the time in the gym and eating right and building muscle like that, all you're gonna do, all right, is just start to stack on more fat, all right, which comes in the form of visceral fat, all right, which is even worse because that's that fat that sticks to your organs like that. And then now your body's just working even harder, all right, at 30 years old, 40 years old. Your body's working harder than the average freaking person because you're not eating the right nutritional stuff like that,
I bought my visceral fat points down 2 points,
and that's big, you know what I mean?
bro.
Like that. So when you go to the doctor or you're taking your in body and stuff like that, the average person wants to be at a level 10, all right, or lower, like that. Obviously, you want to be in the single digits and things like that, but like anytime I ever see anybody, and I see so many people that like they have a ton of muscle mass, but then they have like a 15, 20 freaking level visceral fat level like that. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like you're just eating entirely too much processed food like that, and freaking, you're not susceptible to not getting a heart attack or pre-diabetic, or maybe you already had, you're on the verge of getting diabetes, type 1, type 2, or anything like that. I tell them all the time when I see that, and I see it so often where people are always going to the gym, all right, like that, but their visceral fat levels are so high like that, and they just refuse to change their diet because why? Oh, I'm in the gym and I got a lot of muscle like that.
It's
Yeah, but
diet
internally
and
your body,
exercise.
yeah, internally your body is really working hard, and the only thing that really is saving you at this point is because the amount of muscle you do have like that. If you freaking just fall off for a second, man, God forbid if you freaking break something or you get sick and then you're out like that, your body will freaking turn on you because the thing is that visceral fat is just so high and your body's working so hard, for sure. Like that.
It's crazy because you have to research and really study your body to know what your body can handle, what it can't handle. But it's also those things they always talk about. I don't know. They got all kind of different things. They call them all the silent killer, but it's because people don't even know they exist. They didn't know that. Yeah, you work out all the time, and that's cool. But you have super high. You have you're not working on your heart. You're worked out all the time, but everything you eat is processed. You're not going to buy any normal natural we've talked about that before, it's expensive, but you're not getting your food from Whole Foods. You're just getting all these
Mhm.
processed red number 9, yellow number 2, super dyed foods, and you're working out and you look great. But I
Mhm.
mean, it's like, you just it's a very beautiful, very washed up car with a shitty engine. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And it's
of
just
course.
it's
Yeah.
you just have to it's better to treat everything from the inside out, which is why we constantly are saying, the number doesn't matter. It's all about the performance. Don't worry about
Mhm.
the number. The aesthetics will come if everything else is right. Then
Mhm. And
aesthetically it'll look good.
And this is what I say all the time to any of my clients, I mean, when they're trying to get on the right path, I mean? Whether you're religious or not, like that, like what I always tell people is that, if you're not eating God's food, which is what? If it's in a bag, a box, or a can, that is not God's food. All right.
Right.
Like, so if you're not consistently eating those things, all right, like that, like you're just your body is just freaking devouring, just toxins and things like that that are not meant to be, digested, like that. And then, let me give you some more food for thought. I mean, calories. All right, calories are going to be telling you your mass, how much you're weighing. Okay, your macronutrients are going to tell you aesthetically how your body looks, and then your micronutrients are going to tell you how your body performs. So think about those three things, all right, when you're looking at that, because I got people that that weigh, ideally they weigh what they want to weigh, all right, because they're they they got to a low enough calorie deficit that they got down to their ideal weight. I mean? They're weighing, let's just say what you're saying. They're weighing 240 pounds, all right, and then now they're weighing 180. Okay, that just means that you just stopped eating freaking
Right.
what, the mass amount that you were doing, all right, and now you're in such a low calorie deficit that you're weighing 180. Okay, that's good. Now, how do you feel? Oh, I feel like shit. I'm not strong. I'm fatigued. I want to take a nap all the time like that. Freaking my workouts suck. Okay, now let's look at your macronutrients. Okay, like that. Like even though that you're at 180 and then freaking aesthetically you're not, built like a brick house and you're shredded and stuff like that. Well, that's what that's the next thing that's gonna have to happen. So now let's start to adjust your macros. All right, maybe you're eating about 60, 70% carbs and you're eating about 30% freaking fats, I mean,
Right.
sorry, 20% fats and only 10% freaking protein. Well, now we have to start to change that pie chart. I mean? We really drastically need to shrink the carbs. We need to freaking eat about 40 to 50%, proteins, and shrink your fats down even more. You know what I mean? So aesthetically, you can start to look like what you want to when you wake up in the morning. You look at yourself in the mirror like that. Now let's think about freaking performance. All right, if you are doing a sport or whatever it may be like that. Now you're looking at your micronutrients. Like you're talking about your vitamins, your nutrients, and everything that you're intaking for that too. You know what I mean? And exactly what type of food you're eating too, and how your body responds to that. Like that. So think about that. Calories is only going to tell you mass. Micronutrients are going to tell you, your aesthetics, and then micronutrients is going to tell you your performance, like that. So,
Pretty
all
good way to
right,
look at it.
no,
That's a pretty good way to look at
so
it.
it's
We
a
should
it's a
we should
big eye opener when you really freaking start to do those things for sure.
we should dive into because I've actually done the counting of the macros, and that's
Hmm.
obnoxious, but it's obnoxious. But we should dive into that one day because
You
it's a
can't
thing,
you
bro.
can't ideally get anywhere where you want for your body wise and performance wise if you're not tracking. All right.
Right.
And it's as easy as 10 to 14 days. That's how easy like how many days it takes for you to actually lock that thing in. You know what I mean? Like that. And people think it takes months and years. I'm like, nah. Give me 10 to 14 days, all right, of honest, true freaking tracking. All right. And I can
Right.
tell you exactly where you need to be at, like that if you don't lie, for sure. Other than that, man, freaking, if you like what we're talking about, all right, I know it's a lot of information. I would love to freaking get in more into it, in later episodes for sure. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. My name is Eric Valdez alongside Jewel Johnson, guys. All right, this is Sweat Equity, and we'll see you till next time. All right.